Hello, everybody, and welcome. Welcome to 2025. So I'm going to send out my little message here, and here we go. So, good way to start out the year is just to take that time to connect with ourselves and get into that deeper alignment with ourselves. Hi, Asta. Welcome to 2025. Yes. And yeah, the best thing to do really to start the year is to just take that time to connect with ourselves and to align more deeply, and let everything roll from there. A lot of stuff comes up in life, and it just begs for us to just take that time to connect in, to get into that deeper alignment so that we don't get thrown off in all sorts of directions. So let's take a nice deep breath into that. Hold it at the top for a little bit. Count of 3, 5, 7, whatever you want, and then just release it out through the mouth. Letting everything that is not present moment, release it out, coming fully into that present time. And we're constantly stepping into the present moment. So it's always the challenge to stay in that present moment with every passing moment, every passing second, and leaving everything behind over and over and over again. Coming into that breath, noticing your breath. See if you can take a little bit deeper breath. And Sherry, hey, Sherry, it's been a while. Welcome. Welcome to 2025. Coming into being. Taking that deep breath in, and see if you can just kind of expand the lungs out as you breathe and kind of stretch them out. So really emphasizing the breath going into the lungs and holding it kind of help stretch out those muscles if they've been just a little contracted around that area. And then letting it out. Coming into that awareness of your physical alignment. And a corbel, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Welcome. Nice to have you join in. And Lydia on the other side. Very nice. Good. Good to have you all join in, and whoever else is out there that is hanging out in the background, that's fine too. So coming into that awareness of our physical space, and just connect, just look around, just be aware, notice what's around you. And sometimes they're moving around so fast that, yes, Happy New Year's, Esther, Happy New Year to everyone. We just move around. We're just so focused on whatever we're doing that, and even whatever we're feeling, whatever's going on, we're up here. Whatever happened, whatever didn't happen, so just putting all of that aside, let's just clear out that mind, those emotions, and then just connect and see what's around you. Really take a look at that. Notice the textures of whatever's around you, the wood, the ceiling, the walls, the tapestry, and maybe on the furniture, maybe on the walls too, depending on the kind of furnishings you have. The wood, the grain of the wood, if there's wood, the carpet, the fiber of the carpets, just take a moment to notice all that. letting yourself really come into now. And go through your senses. Going through the senses and becoming aware of what we're really taking in that space, not just the visual or not just the auditory. So noticing what you're seeing. Hey, Sydney, noticing what you're hearing. Noticing what you're smelling. Maybe even tasting. And noticing, the clothes on your skin, on what you're touching. If you're holding your cell phone, just fine. But notice that, this cell phone, notice the difference between the cell phone and your hands, so come into those hands and that finger and pull yourself back into your face from the cell phone, so that it's a separate entity. Make this a separate entity from you, and same with everything else in your environment. Kind of making it, there's your physical form, and making that separate from a separate entity, a separate thing from everything else in your environment. Take a moment to just say, okay, this is that, whatever, that vase, that lamp, that flower, that table, this is me here, and even kind of go, this is me. This is me over here. To really to just anchor in that separation, because what happens with the brain is the brain will bring together different elements that are coming in at the same time. So if you're having an experience and you're upset about it, that experience will, and you're upset about something else. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You're in experience. Let's say you're at the coffee shop with some friends. Everybody's having a good time, but you're experiencing something negative that happened earlier. You're still kind of thinking about it. Your brain is just gonna put all that information together. Nice little package. There's that upset that you're having up here, and then there's your friends having a good time, and then the cafe, wherever you are, and it's gonna connect all of them together. So it could actually potentially trigger that upset, next time you're in that coffee shop. And you're just sitting there and you're just like not feeling really great in that coffee shop, even though a minute ago you were feeling fine, because your brain is just like, has just packaged it all together for you. So that's the piece. That's one of the ways to separate out, is just like, okay, I'm here physically now. There's nothing, look at what's going on around you. Feel that space, feel that moment. What's happening in present time, in that present space that you're in. Letting it all shift through to come into that present moment. And if you notice that your mind is going off, it's like, oh God, I'm still upset about yesterday. It's like, okay, here and now, let's put that aside. That was yesterday. Come into the here and now. Yeah. Coming back into the breath. So let's just maybe stay with your eyes open and really allow yourself to just do this, of coming into your physical body, your physical being. It kind of sounds like we keep doing this. Well, that's coming into being. This is what this is about. And this connection is so important to do. This will help you to just refresh. This will help you to reorient. This will help you let go of just things that happened in the past, of things that didn't happen. Separate out. You, everything else. The real you is in this moment, in this present moment, present time. So we're here, January 1st, so that's kind of this global thing for the most part of today. Hey, Glenna, good to see you. It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. Welcome to 2025. So most people are aware of January 1st, the first of the Western calendar, even if they're on an Eastern calendar or moon calendar doing something else because of just the business, global, financial thing that kind of centers around the Western. So coming into this present moment, here we've had a whole year. Everybody's been going through whatever they've been going through for a whole year. Yeah, so that's coming up for people. So that's fine. That's good. Let's bring up that year. That whole year, 2024, whatever it was like for you, just bring it to mind. Yeah. Some tough times, it's been wacky. It's just been wacky all around. Not going as smoothly as we'd like, just going too fast. There's just all over the place. Nothing's settling down, nothing's settling in. Yeah, so letting all of that come up, because this is part of just, all right, letting go of that. What's come before now? And breathing into that. People that you want to leave behind, that's fine. So let's not make it about people so much as it's making about the patterns that came up around those people, in connection with those people. So separating that out, because we don't want to take the pattern forward. And you might need to leave the person behind, that's fine. But it's really about leaving the pattern behind. First half of the year was really negative, latter half was really positive. Felt like two different worlds. I don't know, you were going through a lot of negative stuff in the more recently, so this latter half, right? So kind of a mix, but yeah, kind of a mix all around. And maybe generally it was even more negative so by contrast, it's more positive in the second half. But even the positive, bring up the positive so that you can just start fresh. Give yourself the possibility of even better. Maybe some domineering kind of presence for people. And a presence is not necessarily a human being. It could be a human being, but it could also just be this situation. It could be a situation, so that it's kind of just laced with that domineering, imposing kind of way of being or way of doing, or so it's been pinging on everybody's. So bringing that up, yeah, that's kind of been acting for some people. That type of thing has been acting kind of like a ceiling. So keeping you bogged down or weighed down, pressed down, feeling like you're not able to expand. Lifting that off. Yeah, there we go. And expanding. Yeah, let's kind of expand the room. It's sort of like everybody's standing in the room of 2024, and it's got to be really cramped over time. Ah, yeah, there we go. We kind of like to, humans kind of like to have these end markers, because then you feel like you got to, like, okay, let's get to the end mark here, and then we can kind of like try and refresh ourselves. But ultimately, we're just, it's kind of arbitrary, where we end here, arbitrary to, in the sense that it's not according to where the sun is at a, that according to nature, according to the planets, to that kind of stuff. It's just like, okay, it's gonna be at this juncture. Some people could argue, well, December 21st is actually, or February, whatever. It's there's some other New Year's out there that are just as valid. But the point is that humans like to have like this cutoff point. It's like, okay, things are going to end here at this time. We're going to have kind of an end here, and then we have a fresh start. Because it's psychologically, it is kind of hard to be dealing with something that is ongoing. And when you think about it, January 1st, December 31st, January 2nd, I mean, what's the difference? It's a psychological difference is all it is, really. December 21st, that would be different, because there's a shift in terms of the Earth relative to the sun. So things like that are different. We get into different endings, beginnings. But January 1st, boom, out of nowhere. So it's hard for the mind to just keep going on an endless cycle, an endless unfoldment, and wanting just to come to a conclusion. Like if you're reading a book, you keep reading the same book over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Or it just never ends, it just keeps going on. And you think you're getting to the end of the book and the end of the story, and then, no, it just keeps going on. But that's kind of life, isn't it? What I'm struggling with in my living situation means move our date, and I do too, but ultimately nature decides when it's best for me to leave. Well, you can also make that decision, be careful that, well, nature decides thing, because that can very easily get into this place of, it's like, I'm not going to make the decision for myself because I'm too scared to make it. So watch for that. Nature decides through you also, through your decision. So it's not like the separate entity outside of you that's working to completely separate from you. Sometimes there's a difference, but it's also kind of coming from you get guided to make the decision through that. And so stepping back and saying, well, I'm not going to, I don't, that, be careful with that. And when you make the decision, you'll know if it's not the right time, because it just won't fall into place. End of story. So if both of you need a move on date, then just pick one and end of story. It'll get moved around if that's not the right one. H and Y. Oh geez, I'm sorry, HNY. I'm so bad with these things, but good to be here. Yes, it's good to see you. I'll be out of cell range shortly. All the best, 2025. Oh, glad you could join us. It's been good. Yeah, good to see you. Have you be here? there's a little bit of this turning it over to God. And it kind of comes up that story, which maybe everybody's here has heard because it's an old story, been going around. But this guy who's sitting on his roof, and there's everything's been flooded, and he's sitting on his roof because everything's flooded, and said, "Well, God will take care of me." And God keeps sending, one thing after another to so that he can get out of there. It's like, well, there's a boat goes by, or so and somebody comes by and keeps asking, well, here, jump. It's like, no, I'm waiting for God to save me. It's like, then God said, hey, I send you all these possibilities. You didn't take them. That's it. There you go. So back to that, nature decides. It's kind of saying, well, God will decide. God's deciding through you. You're not separate from, that kind of starts to create this separation between self and everything else, and what's the external stuff. I thought it was religious stuff. Well, it is. It is religious stuff. That is from the religious paradigm, but of course, it's been kind of taken in by other things. Oh, let the boss decide. So we're going to sit here until the boss decides. All right, let's come into the core of the earth. Let's ground down with all those thoughts here. Coming down, get more into this present moment, and stepping out of 2024, coming back to that. Yeah. And anchoring everybody in. There's a little bit of resistance by one or two of you. All right, so back to 2024. Yeah, even the good stuff. Bring it all up. Yeah, and so it can be really hard to let go of the good stuff, but it'll come. Don't worry about that piece, because it's still part of you. So the good stuff will just kind of it's like separating out from all the conceptions and all the beliefs and all the everything we have around that, so that it can stay with us in the pure form, whatever that good stuff was. Good connections. Let's not make it about specific people and specific places, but it's about the good connection. So that's what we keep. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that actually brought up some limitations for people. We have a tendency to look at the good stuff and the bad stuff, and kind of letting go of the bad stuff. But it's okay to let go of the good stuff, and let go. It's letting go of those definitions and those attachments to why it's good. So staying with the essence, keeping the essence of that stays. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, that's a relief, yeah. So bringing ourselves into that place of facing forward. If you want to look at the whole year, but let's just look at whatever's ahead for us now. Coming into much kind of cleaner place for all that. And get everybody to face the right direction. Got somebody back there that's just facing the past, facing backwards. So that causes distortions. We think we're facing in one direction when it's like, no, I'm facing forward. This is the way I'm going. I'm facing my goal. I'm facing whatever, and totally turned around. Yeah, there we go. Starting to shift. That has to do with an identity for that. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Take a nice deep breath in. Yeah, nice. So no need to go rushing forward. It's happening on its own. And letting it come to you. You don't have to go to it. It's just coming right to you by itself. So just staying very centered in yourself, staying very present in yourself, in your beings. Yeah, there we go. If you kind of feel like you're moving forward, you are. Just keep centered in yourself. Keep centered in yourself and just be aware of, any kind of like flowing forward or gliding forward. Somebody's still having a hard time. A little turned around, but just turned right back. So looking backwards again. And there's just a resistance of going forward into the new year. So here's another kind of catch-22 with having these clear definitions. It's like, oh my God, it's another year, And we get reinforced with that with birthdays, with taxes, with all these kind of things. But come again. Don't worry about what's ahead. Come right into here, right into now, just for this moment. Let go of what's ahead, just being present in the now. Come back into the now. Yeah, there we go. Maybe grief coming up for that person who had a hard time facing going forward. I was looking back at something left behind. That's okay. Just come into right here, right now. And just feel whatever's coming up. Because feeling whatever's coming up is part of being present in the moment. You're not running. You can't run away from that stuff. It can pack it down. You can really, really shove it down. And then 60 years later, you're pulling something up from when you were 2. Yeah, so let it come up now. Yeah. Yeah, good job, everybody. Letting just coming to that present, focusing on the breath, being very aware of your environment and you in your environment. Yeah. Yeah, very good. Coming into that stillness of the present, infinite present moment. So that's that link to the timeless through the present moment. Very nice, very good. No need to do anything else. We're just here at the beginning. Hey, wisdom happy. No need for anything more. Right here, right now. As far as the year is concerned, we've got 365, 64 and a half, 64, wherever you are, 63 days to go. But if you're already thinking about what you're going to be doing and all of that, you've already lost all those days. So letting it be present moment. Best way to slow time down. Come into the present moment. Your direct link to the timeless. Yeah, very good. Okay, good job, everybody. Well, thanks for that good start to the new year. Good start for just, it's always fun to say that, the new year, right? Good fresh start for today for what's coming up next. And just stepping out of what has been before without getting into years or dates or whatever. Good one to do, whenever. At the end of the month, at the end of the week, at whenever. Just to kind of shift into, all right, let's start fresh here. Whatever we need to start fresh on in this moment. Yeah, very good. All right. Thanks for joining in, everybody. Good to see people. Yeah, a couple people is Acorbell. Again, thanks for joining in. I haven't noticed your name before, so that's nice to have you join in. Welcome. And Glenna, it's been a bit. Cherie also, and then people who it's been more recent, like Sydney and Wisdom Happy, Lydia, whoever else is back there, Asta too. So good to see everybody. And we'll be back next week as always, as usual. And we'll keep going, keep coming into this present moment, present space. Happy New Year. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining. So take care, everybody, and we'll see you next time, next place, wherever that is in the ethers, on coming into being, wherever. Oh, and before I leave, I'll flash on my QR code. If you care to make a donation for the people on YouTube, it's up there. For Instagram, you can go to the link in the bio and follow that. It'll take you to where you want. You can make a donation if you choose. So here we are, and off we go again. Next into whatever's next. All right, take care, everybody, and we'll see you in the next round, wherever that is.